It's challenging to be a father raising a daughter when she's going through her puberty. We walk past those like laundry shop, and I just turn into the shop and then say, "Hey, come! I think you need some." I just feel that I want to be the cool dad, to do everything with my daughter. I can't remember. I think in the end we didn't buy anything. We just walk out. Okay, the question here says, do you think your family is broken? To be honest, when I first started become a single dad, right? I thought that the family was broken. After living with my ex-spouse for like 10 over years, it's like your daily routine and everything has kind of like blended and infused. So when she left, that's why I felt that it is broken, because part of me is being taken away. I've been a single dad for the past 13, 14 years, and I have 4 children, and my oldest right now is 23 years old and my youngest is 17. My first reaction when I knew that I'm going to be a single dad, right, I believed it's probably rejection, or rather perhaps denial. I mean, as a family, we used to do things together, husband and wife and the kids, right? So when she left, everything has to change. And I don't know how to handle. Even going to the beach, or Sentosa, to the zoo, to the bird park, which we used to go as a family, I struggled to wanting to bring them to the similar places. I also just started my self-employment, and I struggled to so-called handle, to balance work and family, especially school holidays. I tell you, I hate it. I literally hate it because I don't know how to enjoy the time. Once the holiday comes, it's like 24/7, I'm with my children because they are young, right? And you keep them at home, it's basically very noisy. You cannot expect like quiet time or peaceful time. I think the only time that I have the peace will be when I lock myself in the toilet. And then they will like sometimes come and bang on the door. It's like, "Daddy, I'm hungry," or "Daddy, can we go out?" So it's really the kind of time I have is just lock myself in the toilet. Not even doing any business. But I realize that the bitterness in me is building up. It's like every time I see them, it reminds me of my ex-spouse. So I don't know what to do. I don't know how to handle. So basically, the turning point was the fact that we had a sponsorship by Singapore Australian Tourism Board to go for Australia trip. And when I met up with the sponsors, my first question I asked them was why? Why ask? To me, it's like if you want to promote your trip, you will be looking for a family with like father, mom, and then maybe a daughter and a son. And the sponsor replied to me and say, "Oh, Australia welcome anyone, and you are also a family." So that moment, right, struck me and changed my perception. It's like, why am I thinking that my family is broken? But actually, me and my kids, we are still a family. So that trip probably changed my life, maybe. Okay, the next question. Are dads less capable than moms at parenting? I wouldn't say whether is it more capable or less capable, but I think there are certain things that dad may not be able to achieve. I mean, men, we are more practical. Most men won't show the emotional part of it, right? So in terms of parenting, I won't be able to allow my daughters or my sons to come to me and put their heads on my shoulder and say, Daddy, I have a bad day, today, that kind of thing. I mean, even though I'm there, it's like, but I couldn't connect with them emotionally. And I can sense that there is a certain barrier. I'm also raising a girl. So there was some awkward moments, especially when she's going through her puberty. We went for a meal, right? And then after that, we walked past those like laundry shop. I didn't warn her or I didn't prep her. I just turned into the shop and then said, hey, come. I think you need some. She was embarrassed, but in my mind, I just feel that I want to be the cool dad, to do everything with my daughter. I can't remember. I think in the end we didn't buy anything. We just walked out. Yeah, it's challenging to be a father raising a daughter. Yeah, in the very so-called beginning part of the divorce, I was basically physically tired, mentally dry, emotional drain. Yeah, and financially it's also a challenge. So all these kind of add up to make me feel that I'm not good enough. So I put the so-called the priorities on the kids and basically ignore self-care, ignore whatever my body is telling me. I would make sure they finish and have enough food. And if it's not enough, I will not eat my portion. Then I'll give them mine. It's it's very tough. Very tough. So eventually, the thoughts start to say, hey, end it lah. And the scary thing is, every time when you entertain such thought, the next time, the thoughts will be even stronger. So every weekend, I'll basically burnt out. I'll lock myself in the room and things like that. So there was one time where I was sleeping and I was just so tired that I want to just sleep in. The night before, the thought was so strong that I almost just wanted to end it. My son came into the room, put something beside my bed and said, Daddy, this one is from school. It was a package from Dads for Life. I don't know even if he can remember, but yeah, I took that package and I cried. And then I realized that, I cannot just end it. And that's for life. For me, it took me probably about 2-3 years to basically walk out from my darkness. When I'm like feeling down, I will try to imagine a brighter future. I even imagine like holding on to my daughter's hand, walking down the aisles, wearing a suit, she's wearing her wedding dress, and to hand her over to her lifelong partner. This kind of thinking helps me to move on and look forward to the future. As much as probably there are certain times that I'm inadequate, right? It's probably because I can't do it, not because I can and I don't do it. So with that, I have no regrets or guilty that I didn't do a good job then. So we just have to like pat on our shoulder and say, hey, don't worry, move on. There will be other opportunities. There will be other things to do. That is at least my own philosophy. Do kids of single parents have it harder? I think I'll get my son to answer this question. Yeah.
My name is Elliot and I am his youngest son and I am 17 this year. I think kids of single parents have it harder in terms of more financial-wise. I think it's more of the toys part. When everyone has those phases when you're younger and then you want those toys, and then
I just bring him to Toys R Us. I say, okay, you're seeing, let's go.
yeah, it's more of window shopping. Yeah. The only part where I'm thinking like why I have no mom or what happened to her is the late night thoughts. So last time I would like think about that, then I'll like cry a little bit. I think the divorce hit hard more on my like older siblings, because like if you're older you'll be more mature and you understand more of what was going on.
You spend more time with mom.
Yeah.
I would think that it will affect my daughter more, and probably my eldest son, because they are pretty close to the mother. After all, my ex-spouse was a stay-home mom who looked after them and take care of them all this while. When she left, right, my daughter was P2, and I get a glimpse of her, when I woke up in the morning. She was like standing at the window looking out of the window, and then I was like asking her if she's okay, and she actually turned around and asked me who is going to tie her hair. When she asked that, I felt very sad. She used to have the mom, but now life has changed, things is different.
I think one difference is that like living in a single father household, when you're going through something, you're not really able to converse it and talk about it to your dad, especially for me. Maybe after my N levels, where I didn't do quite well, it was a bit difficult to express how I was feeling.
My way of consoling is like, it's okay, as long as you do well, you have tried your best, I think that's fine.
He did make it very clear that this is just something quite small and it doesn't really impact much of the future. I don't know how far after the N-level
Less
results.
than a week, a few days later.
He went to get me the Pop Mart. Then he put a note on top of it, which is something I'll always remember for my entire life. Everyone has their own different ways to show how they love each other, and Pa shows it in different ways, like spending one-on-one times or buying items. And I mean, I feel that it'll be great for our relationship that if we're able to talk more. But I'm quite happy with the way we are, and yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so did you ever feel less loved because you only had one parent?
No. I always felt that the love I've received is always a tremendous amount, and though everyone else might like have another mother to care for them, but I've had my dad to love for me, and I think that's the strongest and one of the best I could have received.
How do I make you feel loved by me?
Especially when we were younger, he would always bring us out for like one-on-ones and like family gatherings, and he would always like buy certain things, and like though it may not be pricey things, but it is always the thoughts behind it that counts. Especially like when I was younger, when it was my birthday, there was this thing on the radio where when it was your birthday, they'll call you, and then after that they'll send you a cake. He would wake up early in the morning and then he would text. He's probably the first one to always send in the text, and then there'll be a call on the phone, and then I'll pick it up, and then you can hear my voice on the radio. Yeah.
But I think if were to be answered by my elder two children, probably the answer might be different. Because they are closer to the mom, right? I mean, as in, they spend more time. So I'll probably think that they may feel the difference. Even for my elder son, I think he may even feel that my love for him is too harsh. I do notice about this thing, this part, the barrier between the way of me trying is I will text them, how are you okay, you want to talk about it? I don't know if he can remember. Sometimes when they were younger, I'll just write notes and put it on their bed to assure them that I love them. most of the time to so-called tell them that things may have changed, but I will try my best to make it minimal. Things will still continue. Yeah.
What are you most grateful to each other for?
I'm always very thankful, even though you are the youngest.
Yes.
But you are always there to accept my flaws. Yeah, that means as much as I'm hard on you, you still come to me and say, Daddy, I just want to spend time with you.
Yeah, I think especially for the last few weeks or months, I've been asking him to go out quite a lot. But I understand that he is quite tired and doesn't really have the strength he did from when he was younger. The things I'm most grateful for him is of course the love that he shows towards. He's always there to provide the food, and there are times like when he would cook and bake some rice, and then he would print something onto the foil, and then say, is it like by
Quotes or things like that.
some quotes, and it really shows the love that he has for us.
Is there like a moment where you feel most proud of yourself as a dad?
Yes, there's always quite a few moments where I feel proud that I'm a dad. The recent one was when I saw the three brothers tugging each other, walking in front of me. In the past, they were like so little, but now they're all bigger size and taller than me. And then my daughter was running to the front and take a selfie of her with the three boys and kind of thing. So that kind of moments telling me that the bond that they have is unique and special, and I felt very proud of myself, I would say.
Damn, I've raised these kids right. Yeah, right out of your mouth.
Yeah, I must have done something right that they are who they are today.
You have done many things right. I love you a lot.
Yeah. Thank you.
A lot would be a very...
Understatement.
Yeah, it'll be an understatement, yeah.
Thanks for watching this video. Let us know if there are any other topics you'd like to see in future. Bye!